Hello Pack, welcome back to another episode of the Assassin's Creed Syndicate Stealth Run campaign, where we go through the Assassin's Creed Syndicate games as stealthily as we can. Here, we're going through the third mission in the game, which is our arrival at London and search for Mr. Green or Mr. Henry Green of the Assassin's Guild. I figured this was a good episode to lay out the groundworks for what we are going to be using as rules in the upcoming missions, especially since this mission is a little bit different in the fact that we can't really stealth through this mission. You'll understand why as we go through here. I do my best to adhere to these rules. Let's go ahead and lay out the rules. As far as these stealth gameplays go, we'll be following a set of 4 rules. First, all missions must be played in sequential order. We will not be using the mission replay button. If any missions are failed, we'll reset them using save files. This way we don't have any of the additional experience from prior kills in the mission. Additionally, it'll reset us back to where we would start the mission at, and with what equipment we have. All missions must be 100%ed where possible. If a mission for whatever reason causes us to go into open combat, or the mission's objective would result in us having to reveal ourselves in order to accomplish it for any reason, we will not be 100%ing that mission, but we will do our best. If we're seen, we'll go ahead and reload the mission from a save file. The way we'll do this is I'm backing up the saves at the beginning of every mission, and we'll go ahead and reset the game with those save files if we're seen. Now, if a body is found, or we whistle for a guard, it does alert them, but they haven't seen us yet. Well, they won't be able to see us until that icon above their heads starts to turn yellow or turns red immediately, depending on where we're located at. But if the marker just shows up, that means that they're alert and they're looking for us, but they have yet to find us. And fourth, and probably most importantly, we'll be trying our best not to kill enemies in open combat. So if a game forces us into open combat, we'll do our best not to kill anybody. During that open combat, we'll either let other NPCs take care of the kills, or we will just attempt to kill the main person, as happens with the Rexford K-Lock kills in the future. So now that those are out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into this episode. If you do enjoy this kind of content from me, please feel free to hit that like button and subscribe, and please go ahead and leave me a comment telling me what games or what other missions you would like to see me do. Thank you. So we're starting out here. Jacob's just been robbed by a child, and so we're supposed to be chasing him down through the streets of London. There's an icon on the map and in the UI telling us where he's at until eventually you lose him. Fortunately for us, we do know where he's going to end up, and the 2 thugs that will attack us at the end. So we're taking this time to upgrade our gear. We're looking for anything that'll give us an advantage to stealth, since strength in combat isn't something we really need, but the Ezio outfit here does give us additional throwing items, such as smoke bombs and throwing knives, which will be great for using at range to keep away from other people. So we're going to go ahead and run immediately to the end of where this boy ends up. Fortunately for us, we know exactly where it is, and it's not required for you to follow the boy. It's just simply required for you to encounter these 2 men at the end of this run, which is very unfortunate for us. So we're going to go ahead and climb up here to the top of the building. Now, full disclosure, it has been quite a bit of time between episodes, and as such, it had been quite a bit of time since I'd last played the game. So we've got these 2 gentlemen at the bottom here. We are attempting to assassinate them by creeping up to the edge of the roof. Unsuccessful. We jump onto this lamppost, which is much closer to them. Still no success in being able to assassinate them. So my goal was here to climb onto this wire, to climb onto this rope, and go ahead and try to assassinate them from there, and grab the data helix. But unfortunately, like I said, I've been a little bit new. I was still a little new to the game, trying to unrust a little bit, and took a little bit longer than I should have to get there. So I'm trying to assassinate here directly above them from the wire. So we're going to pull out our throwing knives. You can see the icon turns gray whenever hovering directly over them. So we're going to throw a knife next to them, and as the knife comes in contact with them, it does like phase through them. You can see the glitching phase through. Now this is unlike aiming at a civilian where it just turns blue. These are turning gray. So there is no way to attack them, no way to kill them before triggering this cutscene. So here we go, triggering the cutscene. Of course, the little boy is nowhere to be found, but Jacob still talks to him, and we're going to go ahead and open into combat. Again, I know it says E for counter when the attacks come up, but I had forgotten that E was the counter. I'd been playing a little bit of the Arkham games, and right click was the counter, and right click was not working in this game, as you might guess. So I finally figured out E was the counter button, and and I was able to dispatch these guys fairly nicely. Now there are no enemies, there are no other NPCs that will kill these guys for you. So instead, we've taken them down to the minimum amount of health where they're still standing, they're still attacking us. And once we run over this way, you can see that outline of Jacob here, which indicates that they have lost us. They no longer know where we are. And in attempting to chase us, they die. So I'm going to count that as us not killing them. And we're going to go ahead and cut into this next cutscene where we end up having to race Evie to the top of the tallest viewpoint in this area of London. Now, if any of you have seen my other videos on the oddities and observations of Assassin's Creed Syndicate, linked up at the top right, you will know that this race can be won in one of three ways: either very fairly, where you run the same path she does, you can stay with her and take the same path we're taking here and still win, or like we did this time, take the head start at the very beginning and go ahead and win anyways. Now, we are cutting out any cutscenes that occur, so I've gone ahead and cut out the cutscene where they meet Henry Green. We're going to cut out the cutscene at the top of this tower, and we will also be cutting out the Darwin cutscene. In the future, we'll be cutting out most of our cutscenes as well. There is one cutscene at the very end of this that I like to keep in just because it shakes the entire screen. It kind of proves that the carriage outside is being launched into the air. Another one of the oddities that we pointed out in our series. But otherwise, we'll be cutting out the cutscenes, just so you guys don't have to sit through all of those. So here we have the Leap of Faith. I did have to splice this run, unfortunately, because we do end up losing Henry. I went for another one of the glitches where we don't have to deal with his audio, but in doing so, I ended up falling too far behind when going for one of the secrets of London. So we grabbed the beer bottle there at the bottom of the watchtower. I should have climbed up this building here on the left. This building on the left holds one of the secrets of London, which we want to get. We want to try to maximize the number of articles we get around the town to maximize our experience. The experience will get us skills in the future, and the skills will allow us to do things a little more stealthily, like having the assassin footsteps, having better throwing knives, and other things that will help keep us hidden. Of course, we're going for this chest here to make sure we have the materials necessary for crafting in the future, as well as some money for buying upgrades to weapons. So again, we're trying to maximize what we can get here. I went the wrong way here again. Left is incorrect. Going to the right here and up this building, you get to the secret on the other building. But again, we're going to run out of, we're going to have to reduce our distance to target. And so I've gone ahead and spliced, and you can see the text at the bottom indicates that Henry's already talking to us, but we did already collect all of the other items that we had to collect prior to this. So the beer bottle, the illustration on the wall, and that chest are all collected, and now we've collected the secrets, the secret in London.
Evie,
so now the dialogue with Henry is going on, and with Evie, and then we're going to go meet Charles Darwin, and the next section of unskippable combat is going to come in. It's very unfortunate. I did my best to avoid it, and in doing so I was able to lose these carriages coming up, so we have, again, no casualties, no combat, and I consider it a win. But we get into this carriage, and it wants me to press W to drive. I refused. I tried hitting back, left, right, nothing worked, so I ended up having to hit W. Hitting W, I immediately hit S to back up, and you'll see the carriage here stop. I was going to see if I can go backwards fast enough, but it's so slow going backwards with a carriage, which makes sense because you're with a horse that's pulling the carriage. So we've gone ahead and gone forward, and we're just going to see if we can outrun it. Unfortunately, in a straight line, they can keep up with us pretty well, and they are going to keep attacking and damaging our carriage, as well as shooting us, which will result in us dying if we do not find some other way around it. So I've gone ahead and come to a full stop, made a left, hoping that the full stop would stop them from being able to follow. Unfortunately, they were able to keep up still just as well as we were. So we're going to go ahead, try to make this right here. We're going to get pushed a little bit, not causing us not to be able to make that right, but we will hopefully lose one of them down the alley. That was my goal here, was that maybe we can keep with only one of them. We're going to get pushed into this alley, which was nice enough, but unfortunately gave the second carriage enough time to catch up to us. So again, we're just violently running through the city, trying to keep away, trying to maintain our health. We're down to 1 health left. We're making every corner we can to keep out of sight, to hopefully stop them from being able to shoot us. It seems to be working for the most part. They are pushing us into these turns, which is nice, but unfortunately they're both still on our tail. I do end up making a turn here very shortly, which will allow us to keep away from them. But before that, I try to make a turn on the right here, going into this park, I didn't realize because of how blurry the screen was that the bulliards were there. And so we ended up getting stopped by the bulliards. We're ending up back at like half health. We're trying our best to keep away from these carriages. We will get a break here finally as we stay on the right. It'll stop them from sandwiching us. And we managed to make this right here, and they can't make this turn as sharply as we can. And so they're making a large roundabout to try to catch us, and it's not enough. It's not quite enough, and we managed to outdistance them, and we will eventually despawn them off the map. So that's one thing about this mission, is if you can get far enough away from the thugs, they will despawn off the map. I do wish that this avenue of completing the mission caused some special dialogue with Henry Green, because the idea here was that we were supposed to distract them from Henry Green. We were supposed to pull them away from the shop and potentially either like derail their carriages or kill them, which would have been nice. But since we didn't do that here, I would have liked for Henry to be like, yeah, they came by, but I had to hide. They didn't find me. I hope you guys are okay. I was hoping for something like that, because I'd never actually done this part of the mission where we just ran from the thugs. It's much too easy to just take them out. But there was unfortunately no special dialogue like that. So we are here taking out every lamppost we can find and run into. Unfortunately, there are a couple that we missed, but this is gathering us that wanton destruction experience. It's 15 experience per wanton destruction level, and that's going to again get us more of those skill points to be able. And you can see the whole screen here shake right there. And that's due to the carriage that we had outside being launched away. You can actually see everybody looking towards the carriage, which is no longer there. So now we've gotten the 100%, we've arrived before Evie, and we skipped over a bit where they just show us the map, and now we're going to climb up to the top of Henry's building, which has a chest on it. We want this chest, again, for building materials, money, and for the... there's no experience for getting these particularly. Actually, there is 10 experience for getting each of these. So the experience, the money, and the building material is going to be, or crafting material is going to be really useful later on in the game. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much. Again, I've already recorded several of these in the future, so you should be seeing these come out at a relatively regular basis. If you enjoy this kind of content and want to see more, feel free to subscribe. And until next time, stay stealthy, everybody.